Reports about missing or lost pets have become common on social media. While there are a variety of tech tools available to track and trace your pets, reunions aren't always guaranteed. Rolene Rabi from the NSPCA joins us this afternoon to explain the benefits and the drawbacks of pet technology. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon, Rolene. And before we get into the details of the technology that's available for your furry babies to remain protected should they get lost and need to be found, how bad is the situation of lost animals from what you're seeing on the ground?
All right, thank you so much for having us on this afternoon. From what we've seen is there are more and more people whose pets are going missing, whether it be by the fault of a gardener by accident leaving the gates open. We're finding more and more people having to report their animals missing. So the SPCAs have seen an incline in that. So with that in mind, there's two options that we have for domestic animals, which is your cats and dogs. You're looking at microchipping as one of the options, but a cheaper option as well is to get a collar and a tag. So the tag would have the details of the owner on it. So what happens is if the animal goes missing and you find the animal in the street, let's say your neighbor's animal comes out and you happen to get the doggy in the street, the tag says, "Hi, please call owner," and the number's on there. So that is also an idea that we promote for pet owners to have.
Yeah, and let's speak about those costs because, you know, I recently got myself a furry baby about a year ago now, and the costs associated with the different things do vary, like you say. But if someone is looking to have a chip installed in their pet just as a safety measure as opposed to a collar, what are we looking at here? And does the different SPCAs across the country offer the service?
All right, it is dependent because as you guys are well aware, the SPCAs are unfortunately not government funded. So we rely on the donations of the public, which means when it comes to the cost associated with microchipping, it is quite high. But it varies between, it will differ from society to society, as well as at your vets, you can also have it microchipped. The microchipping is basically a tracker device. I don't know if everyone is aware, so I'll just explain what it is. The microchipping device is done underneath the skin of the animal. So when it does go missing and they gets to a vet or it gets to an SPCA, there's a number that's allocated. So the microchip number then links back up to the owner's information. So what we would then say is rather for you to have that as well as a tag and collar. So what can happen is the disc on the collar that could just say, "I am microchipped." So it becomes easier, like with you that's done your fur baby now recently. So what happens then is when it does end up at a vet or at an SPCA, it tells the person that, "Listen, my animal is microchipped." So when they do scan it, they do find it. Then when you get with the tag and the collar, it's more of an affordable option. And also when you have your smaller animals, some people might not have known that they were microchipped because if a person in the street picks it up, they will not be able to scan it. There's a certain scanner that's used by your SPCAs and by your vets.
So those are the positives around microchipping or getting that collar. But are there any drawbacks that a pet owner should perhaps be aware of here?
No, there's when it comes to that, there's only benefits. Yeah, there's no drawbacks that we've been aware of because like I said to you from the beginning is with the increase of missing animals. And remember when we get to the time of New Year's and all the festivals with the crackers and that also affects animals. They run out of their yards then. Same thing when it comes to thunder and lightning. There are animals that are sensitive to their sounds and it causes them to want to break away and run away.
Yeah.
So that is why we play with the chip, at least then you know where to find them. And we also do advocate, please go to your local societies, go to your SPCAs and see if you know your animal's missing. It is your job as the owner to go and look for your animal. So to contact your SPCA and say, "Have you seen my fur baby's gone missing? Perhaps it's come into you guys."
Yeah, and of course this is important because the different SPCA organizations across the country are rather burdened at the moment, and you did indicate that the SPCA is not a government funded organization. So pet parents taking this initiative is important for the organization because then it prevents the overcrowding that we see a lot of the times where pets are then have to be put to sleep, unfortunately, when they cannot find homes for them from the SPCA.
Yeah, or alternatively, we'll try and find them new homes. So in order to avoid us having to go through the process of your animal sitting there, waiting for you and you don't know where your animal is. That's why I say it's important for you then to come to the SPCA and look for your animal. And if it is microchipped and it gets to the SPCA or it has a tag or collar, the SPCA will contact you and say, hi, just to let you know, your fur baby has gone missing, but it's been brought into our SPCA at the moment. Can you please come through and fetch it?
Thank you very much for those insights, Roline. She's from the NSPCA joining us this afternoon to talk about the importance of microchipping your furry baby or getting them a tag on a collar at which they can be identified if they find themselves lost.